Hello again, friends. Today we're going to throw back, if you will, to a piece I read for you early on in this series from Howard Thurman, who's a prophet, theologian, philosopher, judge, to name a few things that he accomplished in his lifetime. But I want to go back to this idea of a growing edge and what it is for restoration. So let me read this for you one more time. All around us, worlds are dying and new worlds are being born. All around us, life is dying and life is being born. The fruit ripens on the tree. The roots are silently at work in the darkness of the earth against a time where there shall be new lives, fresh blossoms, green fruit. Such is the growing edge. It is the extra breath from the exhausted lung, the one more thing to try when all else has failed, the upward reach of life when weariness closes in upon all endeavor. This is the basis for hope in moments of despair, the incentive to carry on when times are out of joint and people have lost their reason, the source of confidence when worlds crash and dreams whiten into ash. The birth of a child, life's most dramatic answer to death. This is the growing edge incarnate. Look well to the growing edge. In a garden, if you want to see restoration from what it looked like in the height of its growing season, from what it started out at in the depths of winter, or before you work the soil to be prepared for this next plant, things have to stop, to go away. In a garden, literally to die. Without that, you can't grow new crops. You can't just continually grow. It doesn't work that way. There has to be a break. There has to be something that goes for something new to come. This is clear in a garden, but it's probably true in our lives, don't you think? It's not that we wish for dark times. It's not that we wish for trials and tribulation and struggles. It's not that we want to suffer. But we don't grow when everything is wonderful. We don't grow when everything is it should be. We grow when we struggle. We grow and find new ways to cope and live and work into that growing edge when it's not easy. I'll be the first to say, I don't look forward to those times where I struggle. It's not fun. But I keep making it out on the other side, and I can sometimes look to say, without that push, I wouldn't have done this. Without this struggle, I wouldn't have got here. And this is not to say, and hear me well, this is not to say that God wants us to struggle or that God puts hard things in our way to make us work. That's not what I'm saying. I truly believe to my very core that when we find our time and ourself in those seasons of growing edges, it's not that God has given us struggles, but that God is with us through our struggles. God is with us in those long, dark nights of the soul. So when we emerge on the other side, we can claim that new life, that restoration, that resurrection. I invite you today to think specifically of a dark time, a time where you struggled in your life, a time where it felt that the light was too far away and there was too much, and you just didn't think you could make it. Where was God in those times? Can you recall the presence of God or the people that God has placed in your pathway in those darker times, in those times where life was difficult, that you've come out the other side? Those growing edges, as hard as it can be, our beauty often comes from. If we don't till under the growth, if we don't clean and prune out all of the vegetation from the previous year, what kind of a mess would you have in your garden the next year? Things wouldn't grow because you've got a clean house. You've got to get ready to be prepared for that restoration. What do you need to do to be prepared for the restoration of the remembrance of the resurrection? What do you need to do to prepare yourself, your own growing edges, so that you might celebrate with joy the Easter story this year? Be well. Talk to you soon.
And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy